Welcome back to Tutorial Tuesday, where every week we give you a brand new photography tutorial. This week we're doing something a little bit different. I'm joined by Eddie Keogh, a sports photographer. Eddie, you cover all kinds of different sports.
Yeah,
as my understanding, football, rugby, tennis,
horse
golf,
racing, bit of golf,
all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
And we've been out shooting various things, whitewater rapids and kayaking, using the Canon 1DX Mark II and a few lenses and stuff like that.
Yep.
But Eddie's going to give us a few sports photography tips. We thought that'd be good, coming from an actual professional sports photographer rather than just from me. So, Eddie, do you have any kind of tips? I guess a good place to start maybe is settings. You tend to shoot in manual. You were telling me earlier.
Yeah, obviously it all depends on the today was a perfect day to shoot manual because it's barely changing at all. So shoot manual if you can.
Yep.
If you have to shoot on a shutter priority or AV, then maybe AV is a little better. You can shoot on the widest aperture, shoot at 2.8. Sure. And then that will decide the shutter speed.
Yeah, you were saying you tend to shoot wide open, so you can get that nice kind of blurred out background.
Yeah, it's nice. I mean, if you're going to pay like $2,000 for a 2.8 lens, you might as well use it, you know. So so try and stick to it as wide open as possible.
Yep.
That's going to give you just a nicer feel to the photograph. So that sportsman is just going to stand out a little bit more against the background.
Yeah.
You know, if you're shooting f11, the background's going to come into play, and it just looks a little bit, to me, messier.
I guess you can really isolate the action.
Yeah, spot on. Yeah,
that's good. And shutter speed wise, you were shooting pretty fast earlier.
Yeah,
to begin with, at least.
Yeah, I mean, sport is just obviously that's number one. You need a fast shutter speed, and you know, it depends what people think is fast, but you know, I would say 2,000 of a second, pretty much sort of around the minimum. But even with water, I'd go even faster, maybe up to 4,000 of a second to really freeze the water, because we've been here today doing shooting canoeists and kayak guys going down the rapids. So very fast shutter speed.
Just really make sure you freeze that action, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I guess only getting the blur if you intentionally want to get the blur.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So we've done a few frames on a very slow shutter speed today. Yep. So we dropped down to today 20th of a second, but something around that kind of thing. And that's the beauty of it. You know, there is no set rule to it. All depends how fast as well that your action is going as well. Totally. But that today we kind of played around the 20th of a second, and it just gives you a very different picture. Yeah. You know, it shows the real movement, and the water is actually really nice for that. So the canoe going through the water. You know, we'll probably show a few examples later on.
Yeah,
but,
I'll pop something up on screen.
It looks kind of. You can shoot 200 frames. You might only get one that kind of works, but you need kind of one where at least part of the person is kind of sharp. So ideally, a bit of the face or something that's kind of sharp. So and then around that, you'll feel the movement.
But don't be afraid to explore the kind of shutter speed.
Experiment. That's the beauty of it. It's just, photography it's fun, isn't it? You know, and it's good to just experiment, and this can go really, really slow. It can get really, really funky if you like, but but there's less opportunity getting at the moment. But around that kind of 20th second, 15th, 30th, just have a play around.
Okay, great. And in terms of those panning shots, we were
go back on that. Put the stabilizer on. If you're still using like a 7200. Put the stabilizer on as well. That just helps as well, you know. It's just sort of,
Is that especially if you're doing panning? Sort of
yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
And doing those pannings, you were saying earlier about trying to get colour in the background.
Yeah, I mean, we've been doing canoeing today, so there's not a lot of colour behind. It's just purely water. But if you're doing motor racing, recently I was at Wimbledon, so Wimbledon's great because you get the crowd behind, and centre court is fantastic because you get this lovely crowd background, and they're all wearing different colours. So as you pan, as the player runs to the net, you do a nice pan, you get these lovely streaks of colour behind, and that was really key. Same with motor racing. I mean, motor racing, it works really well as cars on the track, and you pick a nice colourful background, you get some beautiful streaks. There's some fantastic guys who, Clive Mason, Mark Thompson, Getty Images, they shoot some wonderful stuff.
Yeah, I guess motor racing panning is a real thing there, isn't it? Because obviously it's going so quick.
Yeah. It gives a real kind of feel of the car going at speed. I'd say the same from motorbikes. Yeah. Push bikes, you know. Yeah,
I guess maybe athletics as well. Would you ever do it in athletics?
Absolutely. Like even there's a very famous picture Dave Cannon took years ago of Carl Lewis who was kind of renowned for running, but in the long jump, there was just a beautiful backdrop at the LA Olympics, and just it's one of the classic kind of first ever pan pictures, which has kind of worked really well,
Wow, that's cool. And what about so perspective as well? We were talking about a little bit earlier. So started off sort of standing and moved around a bit, got down low. Do you think that's kind of an important varying your angles? Because like you were saying before about getting loads of different shots.
Yeah.
I guess if you're getting loads of different angles, you just got a lot of options.
I mean, as I say, every sport is different. And today we've kind of gone low, but we've also gone high, looking down on them as well. But I mean, most sport in the UK, I mean, obviously football is number one sport in the UK. So if you want to shoot football or rugby, you've not got too many options. You can maybe go into the stand, but if you're going to sit by the pitch, if you can sit as low as possible is really good, because just getting that lens as low as possible just gives it a bit more of a dramatic feel. If the guy's running down the wing, the lower you are, if you can see the feet off the ground, then and there's a couple of grounds in the UK where we have kind of dugouts and they're kind of almost pitch level, and it's just beautiful work in there, because you can see as the guy's running, you can see their feet are off the ground. It just gives it a bit more drama.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I guess I would say getting low is really, really important. If you go down to your local park, you can still, there's nothing to stop you, going down by the goal and lying down when there's a corner. Just lie on the ground and get, as the guys jump up for the header, they'll seem even further off the ground. If you were lying down, so if they jump this high, it looks even bigger. Do you think that's a good idea? If someone's looking to get into sports photography, but they're coming from a background of maybe they've done some other stuff, but they've never really done sport. I think that's probably a good idea. Go down to your local park. Always. You don't need to go to big events to take great pictures. In fact, I've recently kind of done a little project on Sunday morning football, and I probably enjoyed that as much as shooting the Premier League football, because it's kind of nice to go back to your roots. I kind of played football, Sunday morning football as a kid, and it's just lovely to go back there and hear all the wonderful comments and and remind yourself what it was like. But it's also, you can get great pictures there. It really is not. It's not about the big events. Honestly, go down to your local, whether it's rugby, football, tennis, hockey, whatever. Just wherever's local to you. Just obviously make sure you ask the people. If it's young kids, you need to kind of check with the coaches and that kind of stuff first of all. But adults is not really an issue, and they'll end up sort of spotting you and asking you for pictures, and then you might build up a relationship, and you never know where it's going to lead. You know? So
that's a great. I've not really thought about that before, but I guess if you wanted to get into it, that's a good place to start.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you're at a local club that's sort of non-league. I mean, the growth in photographers working for like non-league clubs it's really exploded over the last sort of 10 years. And these clubs never had great photographers. Now there's people who do day jobs, but at the weekend they love their photography, and nothing better if you enjoy your sport than working at your local club and getting to know them, and you will, if you go in every week, you will improve. That's the only way you're going to improve. People need to understand that you've got to get out. If you really want to do that, then you've got to get out there, and you've got to be there every weekend, and during the week you should be looking at pictures the whole time. You should be looking on the internet at all the top agencies that shoot sport, just looking at the images they shoot. That's the way to learn. You'll see what is expected from the you see what the top shooters do, and great way to learn.
Practice makes perfect.
I mean, all the great sports photographers we have today have all started probably in the darkroom. They worked in the darkroom, looking through the negatives of earlier guys, and they could see how it was shot, and they were learning every day, and they know this is the standard that is required.
Wow. Okay. And so let's talk a little bit about equipment as well, because you were shooting with a bunch of different stuff. So you did have the 400mm, which is obviously a super nice lens. 7200, 2.8, and the 2470 as well. So it's not all about those super long lenses.
No. I guess at times you do need. You do need. It's as I say, all sports are different. So football, obviously, primarily I shoot football. So at football, I'll bring a 400mm 2.8, and the Canon of a new Mark III, which is kind of super light, which is fantastic to work with, and absolutely super autofocus. The 7200 is a new one as well, Mark III. So the 7200 kind of works on the goal mouth. Okay. So you sit kind of near the 18-yard line. I mean, well, you can sit wherever you want really, but I mean, I like to sit kind of near the 18-yard line between there and the corner flag, so you get a nice view on the goal on the 7200s, and then the 400mm kind of picks up all the action in the middle of the pitch, so you can. So, and also you can actually get goal pictures from the far end now. I mean, the quality is so good that you can crop into. I mean, if the negative is that big, you can crop into this much of it, and still the quality is good enough to be sent out on the wire.
Usable picture,
you know, so I'm taking celebration pictures of guys celebrating the far end of the pitch. Literally, I don't know how far that's like 110 yards away, 110 metres away. You know, so it's it's fantastic.
Wow. Yeah, I guess a good point actually is that you can crop in post.
But also, you probably keep a third camera body with a wider angle, up to 24.
Sure. Just
in case they celebrate really close to you.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And also then you'd probably have a camera in the back of the net, in the back of behind the net.
Sure.
And that's kind of triggered by a kind of a radio slave, a multi-max transmitter. So as you shoot on your 7200s, as you shoot the goal mouth action, it's also triggering the camera behind the net. So sometimes, not always, maybe 1 in 8, 9, 10 games you get a kind of a really nice image.
Yeah.
I mean, there was the game yesterday, Liverpool Man City. Kyle Walker kind of saved a goal by doing an overhead kicking the ball. It's just going in, and it would have made a fantastic picture on the remote camera. Yeah. We're getting wet here.
Is rain's picking up?
We work in all weathers. You know?
Yeah, that's what photographers do, I guess, isn't it? Yeah.
I'm standing there getting wet.
You'll get the worst of it, things. It's dripping off the thing. Yeah.
That's the other thing. All weathers. Don't be afraid to work in all weathers.
Yeah. I guess that's a good point, isn't it? It's going
like today, like
rain and
interviews.
Because they're still going to play the sport in the rain, aren't they? Huh? They're still going to play the sport in the rain.
Absolutely, yeah. And it makes good pictures. You know. It's just get out there and in all weathers, especially if it's really is teaming down, that can make fantastic pictures.
Yeah.
Just kind of dress up with the right gear, protect your camera gear, and. Off you go. Yeah.
You had a great tip earlier about maybe using a towel over your lens. If it's a bit like it is today, actually, where it rains for like 5 minutes, stops. Yeah. Then maybe a towel is fine.
Yeah. That towel is perfect. You don't need to buy a
whole thing,
waterproof thing. But just now and again, rain is. Sometimes it rains all day, but sometimes it's only like a little shower.
That's it.
So you can just chuck it on quickly because you want to concentrate on the game. When it stops raining, just whack it off and go again. You know? And you can still work underneath it fine.
Yeah.
No problem at all. Yeah.
So, just to sort of finish up the tips, do you any composition, some kind of tips, anything people should be looking for in terms of how they compose the shots, or do you think it's
backgrounds are kind of key? Yeah. I mean, that's a really. So many pictures can be improved by just thinking about your background. Yeah. Just don't go and sit down at the nearest spot. Have a think about what your background is. If there's pylons there, then that's if the action's there, they're going to have a pylon sticking out of someone's head. Sure. So just think about your backgrounds. If there's a clean the background that way. Depending if the sun's out, then maybe you want to go against the light, or maybe totally with the light. But kind of side on is kind of tricky, neither here nor there. But just enjoy it, It's just the reason you're not going to go there if you're not enjoying it. The reason is to enjoy taking the photos and keep on doing it. Keep on going,
Just keep working on that.
Yeah, go back, go through your stuff. Be critical on yourself. Say I didn't get that right. I must improve on that. So that when you go back again, each time you'll get better. Yeah. And kind of know a little bit about your sport. To have a little understanding of the sport you're going to. I mean, if you want to be a sports photographer, you need to kind of understand sport. It kind of goes with the territory. But
does that make it easier, do you think, if you know a bit about the sport and you can kind of see a little bit what's going to happen?
You can anticipate.
Yeah,
you kind of get a feeling that with rugby, the ball's going to go in the scrum. The scrum half's going to pick it up and put it out for the fly half. So you'll be waiting for fly half to get to get tackled by someone. So that could be your picture. The line outs, you kind of.
Someone's going to lift.
Someone's going to be a lifty, but that's tricky because they're obviously trying to trick your position as to where it's going to be. So that's always you never know for sure because they're running here and there.
Or if you see a winger in space, maybe you think maybe they're going to get the ball. And
you kind of follow the ball a bit, but invariably, the pictures that get used the most will be the goals, tries, celebration pictures. So you need to be prepared for where you sit. Rugby, generally the tries are in the corners, so if you had a choice, sit nearer the corners, because that's probably
That
where the
makes
best
sense.
pictures, because it's the last minute tries, he dives
Yeah.
and someone's hanging onto his legs, he just gets over.
Yeah.
That's
Mid-air touch.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's
Amazing.
a nice picture, and it means something as well because it's a try.
Yeah.
But there's also, you know, you don't have to just have the tries. You can be creative. You can just go tight on the, you know, when they scrum down. Or there's some lovely images of all the hands all interloping with each other,
Yeah.
and you know, just be a bit more graphic. You know,
That's
go close up on the, you know, the guy with the bloody cheek. Who's
Yeah,
got,
that makes it powerful.
There tends to be a bit of claret with rugby,
Yeah.
as you know.
Certainly can be, yeah.
Wales.
And just before we finish, although the sun's coming out now, but before we finish up, which is, I know, yeah.
This is fantastic.
But before we finish, this isn't a tip, this last one, but I just wondered if you had a favourite photo that you've taken, maybe the last year, or ever really, if you like, but if there's one that sort of stands out as something that you know, I guess, is a little bit of a right place, right time, do you think?
I like to think I haven't taken it yet.
Okay, that's
What keeps me going.
That's a cool answer, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. That your best image is still out there. That's that's a nice thought.
I just don't want to stop just yet. I want to keep trying.
No one's ever said that. I've asked that question to a few people. No one's ever said that. It's quite a cool answer.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice.
There you go.
Yeah. Well, there we go.
Well, great place to finish.
Exactly.
Cool.
That's some tips on sports photography. I hope that was helpful. And if you do have any questions about anything, pop them down in the comments. We'll do our best to get back to you ASAP. If you like the video, give it a like. That always helps us out. Make sure to subscribe as well for more content. Obviously, we've got tutorials every Tuesday. We've got reviews. We've got all kinds of stuff. We've got another video with Eddie as well coming up, so I'm sure that'll be out soon. And otherwise, thanks for watching.